What it do, being crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas back with another episode of Coffee and Friends. We are on season 4 of Game of Thrones. Good show, fantastic show. In my opinion, this is where the show really takes off. It's the best parts of the show. Joined with me is the usual crew. We have E-Man, we have Tiara, we have Brandon White. How's everybody been? I know it's been a couple months since our last conversation. I'll start with you, E-Man, because you're on my top right. How have you
Nice.
been?
It's been
Any updates, life, anything?
yeah. Since the last time we recorded, I finally got a car. So I haven't had a car since November. I got it
Oh,
late February. It feels good to be driving again.
that's good. Congrats, man. What kind of car did you get?
17 Nissan Altima.
Okay, okay, I see you. Trap car. Um, no, I'm joking. That's Buicks. BY, how have you been?
Been good, bro. Been good. No new updates really since we last recorded, but life has been good. Growing, still developing, spending time with the baby girl as usual. She she working my nerves, but still, the love of my life.
Nice. Dad life, living dad life. That's awesome.
Living dad
And
life. That's it.
last but not least, Tiara, how have you been?
Good. Same as B White. Not any major updates.
You can say
Business is
not
good.
no major updates. It's okay to
I
be
just
improper.
just trying to get better at that. Um, Business is fun. A lot of fun things happening. Yeah. Again, life's good too.
Did anybody do anything fun for spring break?
I don't have a spring break.
No, nobody has a spring. Okay, never mind. That's a
I mean, I
dumb
took my
question.
daughter. I took my daughter. I think where did we go? We went. I don't know if it was Dave and Buster's or somewhere. Me and her friends and her friend's father, we all went. I don't remember where we went though, because it was like the
Okay.
end of the week. But I had to work all week. I don't get no spring break no more either. That's the thing I miss about teaching. I might have to go back into teaching so I can have a full spring break.
Gotcha. Well, I know Tiara, you take care of kids, right? Like full time during the day. So I figure maybe your family did something for spring break.
Mm-mm.
No.
No. No. Full week. Full work.
Gotcha.
What
That's
about you,
cool.
Vaughn? You do anything for spring break?
The being crew knows about me, bro. But I appreciate you asking. So, not no spring break plans. Again, like if all of y'all, I don't have kids, so my life is just kind of like, what is spring break?
Well,
But
I do have a kid.
since yeah, I know you do. That's why I figured maybe you guys spring break plans. But since our last pod, I did launch merch. So I got Bean Crew beanies, Bean Crew mugs. So that's my update. Just go check out the Bean Crew shop. Everybody watching, if you haven't already saw, I posted about it. I posted on my Coffee and Comments videos as well. But merch, support the
Merch,
brand.
all right.
Um, but yeah, so let's get into the season. Again, in my opinion, season 4 of Game of Thrones is one of the better seasons because this is there's so much that happens. And let's start off with the biggest surprise. I remember the first time I watched this. The biggest surprise of one of the biggest surprises, I should say, of the season, and that's Joffrey's death. Right, another wedding, another death, which is hilarious. But I guess I'll start off with what was y'all's thoughts? Brandon seeing for the first time. What was y'all's thoughts when y'all saw Joffrey keel over and die?
Finally.
Thank God. It's about time. I've never wanted somebody to die in my life, but I wanted him to die. Oh my gosh. I was like, it's about time. And the way they set that up, like he was just at his worst almost,
Yeah,
you know. I mean, like the way he was treating my boy Tyrion, man, I was like, yo, you really going ham right now and being like the worst brat ever. And so I was glad they killed his ass.
Uh,
Eman.
oh yeah, it was satisfying. Like B White. I mean, I feel bad for wanting somebody to die, but man, that was satisfying to watch. Um, but
Yeah, I think.
I
Sorry, go
just
ahead.
didn't. But going forward, I just didn't understand Cersei's reaction because it was like Tyrion was just as confused as everybody, but she turned. She was like, it was him. It was just like, I don't know. Watching it the second time, I was like, that doesn't make sense because he's just as confused as everybody else. How is he to blame for it?
Well, so Cersei would have blamed him for anything. Like that's just Cersei's character for herself. She just wants him to feel because he shipped off her daughter to Dorne. What Tommen? I don't know what happened. He married. Oh, she's getting married to somebody. Anyways, so Cersei just has an out for him, anyways. But he does look like the way they set the shot up. He does look guilty because he's the one that touched the cup, right? Like that's the biggest like conversation is like who killed Joffrey because the grandma claimed that she did it. She was like, "I will never let you get hurt, Sansa." But then we see Littlefinger claim that he did it, right? So it's like who actually killed Joffrey?
Yeah, but
I was wondering about that.
Tyrion, like, Joffrey made him be the cupbearer, so like, it's not like he was like, "Oh, King, let me give you your cup for you." Like, he was making him do that. So
Yeah,
that's also a logic piece they missed out on when they're like, "Oh, Tyrion did it."
and that cup went, to some table, not seen by us. I'm sorry if my mic got hit, but not seen by us, but to the world in the story. I'm sure other people saw it, but still, somebody could have slipped something in there. Now, who? I don't know. But I was wondering that. I had to go back and watch, and I was like, okay, start putting it together. Like, who actually killed him? Like, I don't know if this has anything to do with his death, but I noticed this when I was rewatching that episode today. And maybe I was tripping, but when he smashed the pie and the doves flew out, and then some doves were dead, right? Did y'all see I think when they was giving him his plate, it looked like a dove head fell off and it was on the plate. Am I tripping? Maybe I saw something that didn't happen.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I didn't watch that deep either. So.
I mean, but the reason I say that because they the camera shot was like right on this part where the dove head fell out. They were showing the dead birds in there. So I'm like, what is that about? But maybe it's nothing. Who knows who killed him? I think it seems like Littlefinger and the grandmama are in cahoots. Because Littlefinger is like, they're people, my friends, would love to see the Lannisters fall, yada, yada, yada. And then we see grandmama talking about, she wouldn't let old girl marry Joffrey or stay married. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay. They in cahoots. That's my thought. That's my theory. I'm excited to find out exactly who did it. We know it wasn't my boy Tyrion.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or was it Tyrion? You don't know.
No, it wasn't Tyrion. It wasn't Tyrion, man. He innocent.
Yeah, Tyrion. Yeah, he got set up. That was crazy. But like to your point here, you're talking about like they don't, the evidence doesn't make sense. They didn't give a damn about the evidence back in the day.
I know.
It was whoever got accused for whatever. Like, good luck. Like, you had no proof. Like, if somebody yelled something, like it's like there's no trial. They say it's a trial, but it's kangaroo court. You have no luck with that. But like you were saying, like everybody says, to me, Joffrey's death has to be the number one most satisfying death in TV history. Literally, there's never been a character I've ever watched where I wanted them to die, and when they did, I was just like, "Thank God!" Like, he is finally done. Like that's the only thought I had watching Joffrey's death the first time. The second time, I was like, I already knew what was happening, but I was like, the first time watching, I was like, bro, get this monster out of here, right? So Joffrey's death for me was literally the number one most satisfying death I've ever seen in TV history, personally.
I would agree.
Oh, go ahead, B. White.
No, I was just saying I agree. I was so as a person who this was my first time watching the series, I was elated when he died. I might have stopped and cheered. I don't know. I was so happy. I was so happy.
Nice. Well, that's kind of the biggest thing that happens kick off the season, and then obviously that leads to Tyrion going into bondage because everybody's blaming Tyrion, and that. So we'll talk about this next. But Tyrion being on trial was that was like the wildest thing to me. Like seeing all the people that Cersei was able to gather and lie. Like the biggest heartbreak to me this entire season was when Shay walks through that door and then starts testifying. I was like, this is Shay of all people did like literally I was so pissed. But like you see the jealousy and the anger from her leading up to that too. Like you see like
Yep.
everything that he does, things like that. So a woman scored. But I know you're a big Tyrion fan, Brendan White. How did you feel seeing your boy on trial like that and then get done dirty by Shay?
Bro, I was so mad. I was like, first of all, this is a farce. You know what I mean? Like, but you could tell they're all in cahoots. And I'm like, okay, it was probably, Tywin who set this up. We already know he hates Tyrion just because he's an imp, you know. Um, Cersei, of course, wants him dead. So I was like, man, he doesn't stand a chance. I felt good that Jamie was trying to pull for him, but then I was like, there ain't no way they're gonna let this man off. Like he's convicted before he even hit the stand. Then when I saw Shay come in, brother, she was supposed to be shipped off. What the heck happened?
Yeah.
We'll get into that. But I was like, I felt betrayed, man. I felt betrayed by Shay. Like, what?
Like
This man clearly
there was nothing like
loves
what
you,
he did so much for her.
bro.
Literally
So
protected her at all costs.
at every freaking cost. You know what I'm saying? To his own like emotional detriment. You know what I mean? Like we know he fell in love with her. He didn't want to ship her off, but he wanted to protect her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like he was acting like he didn't want her and all this just so she could let him go. You know what I mean? And it was all to protect her. And then to see her come through those doors, man, and hear what the heck she was saying. And that line, she was like, I'm a whore. I was like, whoa. She's really trying to cut. Like she's scoring like
For real.
shit, bro. She was so scoring. Like she took all his words for truth. You know what I mean? She didn't know he was just trying to save her. But when he said to her, "You're a whore. You can never bear my children," and all this kind of crap, oh, she took that to heart and she used that shit against him. I was so mad.
Which is interesting because we see like again Game of Thrones, everybody's playing the game. It's so interesting to see like different characters playing the quote unquote the game, and she does a great job of that. Like she went from this whore and like the very beginning met Tyrion, now is in the castle, now is the chambermaid to a princess, potential princess, and
Mhm.
then and then she does what she does with Tyrion, and then we see her in Tywin's bed. It's like she's just like move it along. Like she played the game really well too, of all characters. And so that's what like breaks my heart. Like when I watch the show back, is like when we get introduced to Shay, I'm like, they love each other, but she's gonna do this man absolutely dirty. Because for her to snitch on him and then to go lay with his father,
That's
crazy.
Bro. When I saw, okay, I was trying to keep my peace about that part, but when I saw that, bro, I was like, what the hell? Like, she's in his bed. I was like, oh my gosh,
She's
she
like, come back
deserved
to
what she
bed,
got.
my lion. But so
Mhm.
I guess let me pause before I keep on going. Tierra, E-Man, any comments on that situation with Shay and Tyrion with the trial?
Yeah, I guess like just like you're saying she's a woman scarred, but she pretty much scarred herself, like taking everything so literally and so hard. And she knew what she was getting into with a Lannister, first of all. So I don't know. I feel like Tyrion did what he needed to do, and he stood on business.
Eamon?
Yeah, I think you guys said it all. But Tyrion, back to your point about being what? How do you say it? When he was accused, going back to what you said, Tyrion said it in the show. There's no justice in that city. So I mean, that whole trial was a good example of exactly what Tyrion said. Yeah, it was one of the most upsetting parts of the show.
Yeah, it's like how do you? All right, go ahead, Brandon. What are you gonna say?
No, you go ahead then, because I'm gonna kind of steer off just a little bit, but it's still about Tyrion and the trial.
No, but so that like you made a great point there about like there being no justice in this town. It's like how does everybody? I don't want to say go to work because I mean they do work, but it's like how can you trust your fellow man? You can't. There's absolutely no way you can ever like look to somebody in confidence and be like, this person isn't going to do me dirty because every single one of his enemies came out of the woodworks. I mean, clearly his sister was, you know, trying to get him from the beginning, and that's kind of crazy too. Like your own sister is like, I'm about to get you murdered.
Right. That's
But like,
crazy.
but I will say this too. On top of that, but like, I don't know how you're able to trust like anybody around you. But I will say, season 4, Jamie's hard. Jamie's like, as much as I've hated Jamie previous seasons, I like this. This is where I start to like Jamie. And I'm like, bro, he's a good dude, right? Like he goes out of his way to help his brother, and like he's shown that he does love his brother to the point where he's willing to make a deal with his own father to keep his brother alive, even though the woman he loved, which ironically is his sister, is trying to murder this man. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep this man alive because this is my brother. I really respected Jamie this
Yeah.
season because of everything he does to keep his word, but then also love his brother. Because he also, even though they're supposed to kill Sansa too, he's like, go protect her. Like I
Yep.
gave Catelyn Stark my word. You know, Podrick. What's the knight's name?
Brianna Tarth.
Brand of Tarth. Yeah, go protect Sansa and make sure she gets home safe or whatever. So that's like Jamie. I got a lot of respect for Jamie because of his trial as well and how he handled things.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. So I'll speak on that a little bit too, and then I'm gonna come back to what I want to say about Tyrion and the whole trial. But yeah, I gained a lot of respect for Jamie, man. Like he stood up for his brother, man. You know what I mean? He made that deal even though it was not what he wanted. And like yeah, he showed a lot of his art was really different. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the pompous, spoiled little bitchy bastard he was in the first 3 seasons. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I gained a lot of respect for him. But yo, bro, that freaking trial, and when he said no, you know what? I have something to say. And when he went off, that is probably the best TV monologue in history for me. You know, like when he went off and was like, "I saved all of your asses," and this is what you're gonna do to me? He's like, "No, I will not die for his murder. Like, I want a trial by combat." Like the way that that scene, those moments, man, it was so intense, and I was like, "Yo, this is probably some of the best acting." First of all, and this is like in terms of a monologue, which they don't do monologues in a lot in TV and film because you got to have constant dialogue to keep people's attention. But when you do a monologue, having it's got to be intense like that, and it has to have a lot of sustenance. And that joint was fire. I was like, oh, let's go, let's go, stand up, Tyrion, speak on this.
I agree.
I think it was cool because it was like finally somebody's saying like what we're all thinking. Like I
Yes,
hate you, I
yeah,
hate you, you should die too. Like I feel like everyone, is talking behind their back because you can say what you really feel. But Tyrion was like, well, if I'm gonna die anyways, I'm gonna
yep.
let y'all know.
Like, I wish I would have let all y'all die. He said, like, God damn.
The best part was when he said, "I didn't do it, but I wish I did do it." Like that was
Yeah.
like
Oh, and he looked right at Cersei. He's like, I wish I had. I wish I had.
like
Bro,
sheesh.
bro, that monologue was so fire. That whole scene, I was like, God damn.
But so you brought up something that we can kind of move the conversation forward with. You brought up he asked for a trial by combat, right? And so this brings in a character that I thoroughly enjoyed, which we'll get to it. But I thoroughly enjoyed, which is Oberyn Martell, and then we see Ilaria Sand as well, which I thought was cool too. Like how they use sand instead of snow for bastards, because it's a whole like Dorne is a whole different world over
Mhm.
there, and like that's something too. Like I remember watching a show, and then like I was like, man, when are they going to show Bravos? When are they going to show Dorne? Like I was like, are there any characters? Because they brought it up. I figured maybe they were like, oh, this is just the old world. You won't ever learn about these areas. But the fact that there was a character from Dorne, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, like a little bit different. And so Oberyn Martell, fantastic. Pedro Pascal, he said actually. So funny enough, this is what launched, in his opinion, his career was this acting moment being Oberyn Martell in this episode. But I just like his character because he's like smooth. He reminds me of what's the dude? There's a movie where he's like, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my
That's
father.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
Antonio Banderas. Yeah.
what movie is The Princess Bride?
Wait, no, yeah, that's not Antonio Banderas. But yeah, Princess Bride. That movie is Princess Bride.
Yeah, so but that is Antonio Banderas in Princess Bride.
Is
But
it?
yes. But that's who he reminds me of in that is that character, which is like, my name is Inigo Montoya. He's like, I am Oberyn Martell. He's like, you killed my sister.
Yeah.
And I think they probably did play off of that. But any thoughts before we get to his death? Any thoughts on Oberyn and his character throughout the show?
Yeah, I'd say other than Tyrion, for this one episode, he was like one of my favorite characters, and especially when he went to visit Tyrion in his prison cell, and he was like, "I will be your champion." I was like, "Yes!"
Yes. Yes.
Oh, listen, that was like so hyped. I had to stop watching, and it was tears started coming out. I was like, "Oh,
Right."
And then like you hear like, "Oh, he's a famed warrior." I was like, "All right, cool. How good is he?" And
Yeah.
it was. I mean, yeah, I love his character.
It was really good. I like that. Give him credit. He was really good. But keep going.
Yeah. No, I like him, man. I like just his swagger. Like you say, he has this real swagger. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he's a prince, but he's also, you could tell he has this mystic danger to him. You know what I mean? And then he shows that, like when in that first scene when he's introduced to us, he goes and he handles those two Lannisters, random Lannisters. I don't know who they were, but anyway, you could see just how tough he is and how much of a badass he is as well. So I like him, man. He has a clear objective, but he plays the game well. You know what I mean? He's playing the game well. Like he's coming to freaking take out the Lannisters. He wants them dead. He wants revenge, right? In the mountain, right? But at the same time, he's willing to serve. He gives in, well, not gives in, but he agrees to serve on the trial at Tywin's request. And so he plays the game, but he lets them know the whole time, like, I'm still here to fuck you up. I'm still here to
Which I respect too, because he did not back down to Tywin. Like as much as people cower in fear of the Lannisters and Tywin and everything, he did not back down at all. And I was like,
not at all.
Like most people would be like, "Oh, it's the Lannisters. You can't talk to them," especially being the hand of the king. But he was like, "Nah, fam, I'm coming to fuck your shit up. Like this is how it's gonna be. Like it's like you killed my sister now, because that's a crazy way to die. Like death by rape, like split her in half. That's crazy."
Right, bro.
But by the way, there's all these different things that they finally showed. Like finally seeing the mountain too. Like that was the first time I remember seeing the mountain. You know what I mean? I was like, this dude was huge.
Yeah.
But like that was, I think that was the first time because they mentioned him previously about like Clegane and his being his brother and the whole like fire situation and like, his face is messed up because of that. But like that was the first time I think I remember seeing the mountain, and I
Yeah.
wanted him to die. I was like, bro, kill this mother effer. Like, get this man out of here.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, bro. He was huge. Like, goddamn. Like, but Oberyn wasn't. He was fearless. He was fearless. He didn't care.
Yeah. So real
That's the thing
quick,
I like about
I so this new software gives me ability to share my screen. So this I want to show you guys. This is what I was talking about. Nope, not that screen. This screen. This guy, right?
it.
Inigo
Yeah.
Montoya.
Yeah.
This is the guy I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Princess
Yeah, that's
Bride.
what I was saying. That's not Antonio Banderas, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. But that's who he reminds me of. Where he's like, if you guys haven't seen Princess Bride, fantastic movie, hilarious,
Yeah,
hilarious
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I saw that when
But
I was a kid.
that's who he reminds me of. Anyway, but I've been playing with that all day today, so I just want to use that. I can share my screen and pull stuff up now, so I can pull up videos wherever I want to.
Yeah,
But cool. So let's get to it. He dies in the
bro.
dumbest way. In the dumbest way, literally. So this show, in my like, has two of the top five, in my opinion, most shocking deaths. Rob dying, still shocker to this day. But Oberyn Martell's death was so out of left field. Like even me watching it, I felt so bad going into the episode and going into the fight because I'm like, this dude kicked his ass. Like perfect fight, perfect fight. Had him on the ground, put the poison on whatever the poison tip on the spear, it was going to kill him, and just start showboating. And the way he dies was so gruesome too. Like
Bro.
fingers in the eye sockets, eyes gone, rips his face apart, and then rolls over. Out like literally when I remember the first time I watched that show, I didn't feel the same way I felt about Rob, but I was just in shock where I was like, what is this show? Like this is when really this was when I was like, nobody is safe. Absolutely nobody. And I felt for Tyrion. But thoughts on Oberyn's death. Like anybody have comments? Tyrion,
I
email
was,
be what?
I was mad. I was mad. I was like, it was dumb. I was like, bro, just kill him already. But he's like, no, you have to confess. You haven't confessed. Die. You have to confess before you die. Like, man, just kill the motherfucker. Like, and then he didn't, and he got swept up, and then that shit happened. I was like, bro, that pride, man. Like, come on, man. Just
The
kill his.
worst.
I was so mad. I was so
The
mad.
worst.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of dumb. Like the first time I watched it, I was like, what was all this buildup on him for? Like, what did we just learn all this stuff on him for? Like, I was like, he's gonna keep going. Like him and Tyrion are gonna be like a buddy kind of thing. Like him and I forgot his forgot
Bronn.
the other. Yeah, Bronn. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be good. Like it's about to be a new day around here. And then he's just like, oh, look at what I did, crowd, and then just gonna die. Like, for what? What was this for?
What was this for? Yeah, like literally, it just oh my god, because I Ober was such a good character. I
Yeah.
because the thing was too is like you get set up because you think Tyrion's is going to get away with it because he got away with Braun, right? So then you're watching it and you're like, here we go again. Here's Tyrion going to survive and live, and he's going to be perfectly fine. Like death by combat, he wins again, and then
Yep.
last minute, literally, like it's just the craziest thing, man. Like that death again, literally the most shocking death in this show. Like bar none. Other people died in the show. Like we'll get to Ygritte and her dying. Like I wasn't even shocked that she died. I was kind of expecting it. But like his death, I came out left field. I was like, what is this show? So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I was shocked at that shit too, because I did it like you said. I was thinking, okay, Tyrion wins again. like good shit, and then that sweep. I was like, bruh, seriously? Like y'all gonna kill him? I was like, why? Why?
Yeah, the eye gouging is what gets me. I don't know what it is about like movies where they take somebody's eyeball. I hate it. I absolutely hate. Like it always grosses me out. Like I can literally think of like multiple movies, like Kill Bill when she takes the girl's eye out, and the Kill Bill Volume 2 she takes the other eyeball out. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like the littlest move, take the eyeball. Like Naruto when freaking they take the eyeballs out. I'm like, bro, that's disgusting. Like it's literally it throws me off. And so like when he puts his fingers and just like you're done. Like even if somehow he survived that, I'm like you're done. Like there's nothing like both your eyes are
yeah,
gone. You're done.
yeah.
You're done.
You're blind. You're blind. You can't see nothing.
Crazy.
So, bro,
But but
I was just like, no, just for it. I mean, I think they were a little over top with the like just the whole squeezing until his head combust or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
so
okay.
he popped, he pushed it like a
Yeah,
pebble.
it popped. I was like, okay, that's extreme. But anyway, I don't think no, not, I don't care how big you. Are, I don't think you're that strong. You're not about to pop somebody's head like a fruit.
Well, I mean, it plays into the character that they've made them out to be, which is this is a ruthless savage that can kill anybody. Is this the strongest man ever to live? I mean, that's kind of what they've always had the legend of the mountain being. So it makes sense
Hmm.
that they played all that up. Like he can just crush
Yeah,
somebody's skull with his bare hands. That makes a ton of sense.
yeah, I guess. But that death, man, I was like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah. So then we see, obviously, because of the death, Tyrion gets sentenced to death. So here's a question I have for you guys before we move on to like how he gets freed. Tywin constantly kept on saying that nothing would happen to Tyrion, right? So then Tyrion gets sentenced to death, and everybody's expecting him to die. But even when Tyrion escapes, and like obviously has Tywin on the toilet or whatever, he says, "You really think I will let you die?" Do you guys actually believe that Tywin would have kept his son alive, or do you think he actually would kill Tyrion? Like, what do y'all feel based off the feel of Tywin?
I think he would have killed. I think he would have let him die. He wasn't gonna save him. Were it not for, I think he would honor, he would have honored Jamie's um
Request.
agreement, yeah, request had Tyrion went along with it, right? But I think after that trial by combat and he lost, I think he was gonna let him die. He was gonna execute him.
Tierra, email, what say you?
The first time I watched it, I felt like he would have kept him alive, but I feel like he would have just been locked up for the rest of his life just to appease Cersei. But this time I feel like he probably, I don't know, I feel like he probably would have killed him because he's just like, I don't, yeah, just because he like just the level of don't care about him, and
Yeah, he
it's
don't give
like,
a fuck.
yeah, and he's like a master manipulator, right? He's a general, so he's like, oh, you got me at this weak point, but like, you're playing the sun card. That's what he always wanted to hear.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah,
don't know, I think he would have let him live because out of his children, the one that's most like him was Tyrion. Like as far as like his strategies and all that stuff. So it would be beneficial for him to keep him alive.
yeah.
So I feel like he would have found a way to keep him alive. But I don't know. At the same time, he doesn't really care. Like Tiara said, he doesn't really care. So I mean, yeah, he lost a child by combat. Was that to him? He'll bend the rules however he wants to benefit him and his family, him and the Lannister name.
Hmm.
I think he would let him live. I don't know what he would have done with him. I think maybe the dungeon thing, Tierra, but I don't think he would have kept him in the dungeon forever. I think I like that's my biggest thing with the show is like we see so to kind of wrap things up with Tyrion, but we see Tyrion escape because Jamie lets him go. Like Jamie comes in and with the help of Jamie and is it the eunuch? What's the guy's name? I forget his
Very.
name.
Varys.
Varys, yeah, Lord Varys.
Oh
Lord
Lord,
Varys helps
there.
out too. So with their help, he escapes. But before he escapes, he stops because I guess he was going to go kill his father before, or do you guys think he was going to kill Tywin, or was it Shay being in his bedchamber that made him finally say, you know what, f this old man?
No, I think he went in there to kill Tywin.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he went into the room to kill Tywin, and then I think Shay's death was, by default because he found her in there and he realized what was going on, and then he's like, "Well, gotta take you out,
Was that death too? Him killing her?
bro."
That boy was like, oh my god!
Yo, my
Like,
God, bro. And then the way they shot that, and then like just that shot where she was laying off and he had the chain around her neck, he was still pulling, and they just had her head and his head in that frame, and you could see the hurt on his face. But I was like, oh my God, like y'all crazy. That was great, man. It was great.
how
Great
would y'all?
cinematography, just great energy to it and all. It was a bomb scene.
So would y'all have reacted the same way? Given like if you're in Tyrion's situation, would you have reacted the exact same way that he did?
Yeah, I would have killed her.
Look, look.
To her, no, no. Oh, this man just left. Let me. I guess his phone probably died. But so how would you react to Tira?
I would have killed him. I mean, her. I would have killed
Yeah,
them both.
yeah. I'd have killed. Yeah, definitely would have killed her ass and killed them both. But he clearly went in to kill his daddy, in my opinion. You know, and I
See
think he
that?
would. I don't think he was expecting her there because he had Bronn ship her off, right? In like what episode? I don't know, four or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
episode.
So he wasn't expecting her to be there at all.
See,
Which
I wait, hold on. You were about to say something, but I don't think he was going to kill his dad. I don't know what was going to happen, but he didn't have a crossbow. Like he had no weapons. So how would you kill him? Like he only got a crossbow after he left his dad's bedroom. So I don't know what he went to his dad's room for in the first place because he had no weapons to kill his dad. Well, he's not going to strangle Tywin. Tywin's actually a strong guy. So like, what are you going to do? So I
so
think it was the fact that because Shay broke his heart, but
Mhm.
then for you to be in your dad's bed, like the girl you love, because this is his second time, like because he said that he loved another girl that was a whore as well, and Tywin went out of his way to embarrass him about that, and this is now the second time that now I get scorned by love, but then on top of that, you sleep with her. Like I understand, like, but I think that him killing his dad was everything, but that was just like the final like nail in the coffin of like you have to die. Like there's no like it's just it's just disrespect. Like I think honestly
yeah,
it was disrespect. I
yeah.
think that's what made him kill his dad, not
Mhm.
everything else. I think he was going to talk to his dad, honestly.
But why? If he's he then Tywin would have known that he was allowed to escape, and then of course he would have put two and two together that Jamie did it. So
He
why
did.
would he?
He did figure out Jamie did it because remember he's on the toilet and he's like he sees him alive. Because here's the
Yeah,
thing, like again he's on the toilet and he's trying to reason with Tyrion's laughing because he's on the toilet. He's trying to reason with Tyrion about like let's go back to my chambers and talk. I don't think Tywin like as much as he hated his son because he this was an imp and killed his wife through birth. I don't think he was going to kill him. Honestly, I don't think Tywin would kill Tyrion.
I think so. I think yeah, Tywin
His
shady
own
as fuck.
son, his own son, he
Yeah,
would murder him. No,
yeah,
I wouldn't
bro.
think he would.
I think he would have let him. I mean, because
Tywin
I
was a
think
piece of shit towards him, but I don't think he would have killed his own son.
bro, why not? He thought about it before. He said, "I should have taken you to." He said something in one of these episodes where he was like, "I should have taken you to that river and drowned you or something, or threw you in a river or in the ocean or something." When he was born, like he'd have killed him, bro, because he's gonna honor whatever the hell, like you say, helps his agenda and helps the legacy of the Lannister. I mean, if that means you're gonna lose one, I think he'd have done it. And
And
I
that's
don't see, why else Tyrion would have gone in there to talk to him about what? Like,
yeah, I don't understand either. 'Cause again, he didn't have a weapon, so like, what the hell is he going in there for? Before I
that's your
move,
point too.
before I move on though, E-Man, do you have any comments? I know you've been sitting there for a while. I feel like you have something.
No, same as you. I don't know what his plan was. I don't think he would have killed him at first, but once he saw Shay, then he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill him." But I feel like if Shay wasn't there, he would have been more open to talk. But yeah, once he saw that and she killed her, it was like he's done.
Yeah, bro. I think that's what was like. You're done. Um, but you mentioned lineage. I love this season that Cersei tells Tywin. You know what I mean about the her and Jamie. And he's just like unwilling to accept it. He's like, no,
Yep.
no. And that was crazy to me because it's like she's like, oh, you don't know what brother and sister are doing and all these
Hmm.
rumors, and he's like, I don't believe you, blah blah blah. It's just crazy. It's this show, man.
Yeah, it's
It's
wild.
crazy.
It's
So yeah, so Tyrion kills Shay and then kills Tywin. Um, two questions I have for you guys. Each one, I want to hear from each one of you guys. One, was Tyrion justified with both murders? And then two, if you were Jamie, how would you feel after all this?
Yes, he was justified. But I feel like it would have been more justifiable if he would have killed his sister. I can't remember her name.
Cersei?
If he would have killed Cersei, because he was like, I mean, he was innocent, but he was still sentenced to death by his own dad. Like, yeah, but so he was sentenced to death even though he was innocent, and he wasn't even given a fair trial. And it was his dad that was, controlling things while he was on the trial. So I think he was, what's it called? I think it was I forgot what your question was or how you said it.
No, so like, was it justified?
Yeah.
But
And then,
yeah, like it was
Yeah.
justified. As far as killing Tywin, because again he was innocent, but I think it would have been more justifiable if he would have killed Cersei, because she's the one that accused him.
he would have got away with that, especially with like Jamie. First of all, that's Jamie's like love of
Yeah.
his life. There's no way he would have got away with that. Like Jamie would have killed him.
Yeah,
If he killed Cersei, no way. And his father. That's why I asked the question about like if you were Jamie, how would you feel? Because for me, you just let your brother go. Like if you left your brother, it's two choices, I guess. Kind of. If you had left your brother in the pit, he probably would have died, but your dad would be alive. And then you let him go, and now he kills your dad. So it's your fault. It's not your fault technically, but you did let your brother go, and that's what resulted in the death of your father. Like if you hadn't done that, your dad would be alive still. So that's why I'm like, how would you feel as Jamie? Because it's like you're the reason why your dad's dead, kind of. So, hey Tierra, B White, was he justified, and how would you feel for Jamie? I guess E-Man didn't answer the Jamie part either. So
as far as
um,
like betrayed, because again, he just said, "I'm like, hey, go to the boat and leave." He didn't give me any side quests to go do.
That's funny. Killing your father is a side quest. That's hilarious.
For
yeah,
me, I
I
go ahead, Tier. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, I think he was justified. Like I said, I would have killed her too. Not only did you testify against me, but you're sleeping in bed with my dad. You gotta die now. Um, also with Tywin, I don't know. I feel like Tywin should have died many times, as well as Cersei too. So like, I can see the sentiment of like, all right, now both of y'all gotta go. But I don't know. If I was Jamie, I would definitely feel bad. I'd be like, dang, like, oh, I killed my dad pretty much. Like I could have escorted him to the boat, like if I really wanted to save him that bad. But your brother's a trickster, and so you kind of knew what you were doing.
Crazy.
Yeah, I definitely 100% justified. Hell yeah. Like, no, both of y'all dying. And as my daddy, you definitely deserve to die because you betrayed me. You disrespected me, right? You know what I mean? And not only that, you had it out for me for the longest. You treated me like shit, even though I'm your son and I'm the smartest of your damn children. But yeah, it's Jamie. Like I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling angry, and now I'm questioning whether he actually killed my son too. You know what I mean? Um, like
Mm,
what did I just do? You know what I mean?
right.
Like so now I feel like that's gonna come to light in the next season. Like I think there's gonna be like they have to resolve that. Like Jamie, like where he's at with that whole thing, and like when he sees Tyrion again, if like they can't let that go unresolved. Like that's gonna happen, and I don't want to see Tyrion die, but like I feel like if they kill him off, Jamie's gonna kill him.
Gotcha. You think he gets RP? You brought up a great point just now. Do y'all think Jamie gives a damn about his kids? I don't think he cares because Joffrey dies, and he's like, "I gotta get it in right here in the sanctuary. Like, we need to have sex right now."
Oh, bro, he
Like,
raped her. He
I
raped
don't
her.
think,
He raped
I
his
don't think,
sister.
I don't think he gives a damn about his kids. Honestly, like you said, like I'm questioning if he killed my son. I'm like, does he care that Joffrey's dead? Honestly, I don't think he gives a
Yeah.
damn.
Cersei's the only one
I,
that cares about her kids because I mean, if you look, even Tywin, as soon as it happened, he was already telling Tommen what to do, like at the funeral, right before that happens. So I think
which,
Cersei's the one that actually cared about her kids, or as far as what's his name is involved. Not Tommen. The one that got died. I feel like
Joffrey.
Cersei.
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Joffrey, yeah.
I feel like Cersei was the only one that cared about him because everybody else was just like, all right, cool.
He was
He
disrespectful to his
really
dad
was.
too. He was disrespectful to his
Yeah,
dad too.
telling
But he
us,
didn't.
but
But also,
he don't know he's dad.
exactly like he
Yeah,
calls him uncle as his uncle dad.
yeah.
Um, but like that's that. Like I don't think he gives a damn about his kids.
Well,
I've
yeah,
never seen him show love to Tommen, Marcella, Joffrey ever in this show. Like
you. There's something to that. He probably doesn't because he says he doesn't want kids. You know, he tells Tywin that in episode 1, I think. Yeah, he's like he doesn't want a wife. He doesn't want kids. So he may not give a fuck. But I don't think he would have. So when I say
well, he doesn't
I'm
want
questioning,
kids. He doesn't want kids or a wife because he already has done both with Cersei. That's why he doesn't want it back because he's like, I have what I want through Cersei. So
yeah,
that's why. But the kids, like, anyways, keep going. What you're saying.
yeah. So I guess, but what I was saying about as Jamie, I'm wondering if you kill my son. It's just the fact that it is his son, not because I care about my son. Now I'm wondering, did you actually have something to do with, killing
Yeah.
the king? You know what I mean? And was I defending, a murderer this whole time? Because if you murdered our dad, why would I find it? Why would I find it hard to believe that you murdered, this evil ass motherfucker who was your bitch ass nephew?
Um. Any other comments?
Yeah, going back to Tywin's death, Varys' concern whenever he said, "What have you done?" And, it's like, okay, like, what does Varys know that we don't know? Like, who's gonna be in charge? Who's gonna guide Tommen? Because there's no real good candidates. Tywin is dead. Tyrion is leaving. So who's gonna be the hand of the king now? And I think Varys' concern is what's it called? Shows that something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're now at was that 3 Hand of the King's dead? Technically, I guess because Tyrion got demoted, but yeah, 3 of them now dead. That's crazy. But that's last thing I'll touch on is Tyrion could at least let his dad pick his pants up, like stand up, pick your pants up. This man is sitting on the toilet. Like,
No dignity. You just gotta
anyways,
die.
right?
You know
So
what would have been dope though? What if they had done that? I probably would have directed it this way. I would have let him stand up, and then I would have shot him, let Tyrion shoot him right there in the parts, since he just fucked my
yeah,
woman, and
yeah,
then I'd have shot him in the heart too.
yep.
But yeah, I agree. They should have let his ass
Let
stand
the
up.
men stand up. Cool. So another piece to that, we see Sansa escape to the Vale with the help of Littlefinger, which Littlefinger's messed up, man. That man is weird. The fact that he killed that dude, I was like, come on, bro. Like this dude, it just helped you. But I guess he was right because that dude probably would have snitched,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So that was cool. But I don't know. Sansa's journey is just interesting to me because like she went to King's Landing with the hope of being married to Joffrey, thinking he was a handsome boy, and then you just see her like deal with life this entire time, and then now she gets to the Vale, just like happy to be gone from King's Landing, but it's like you're with Littlefinger now. It's like you left one terrible situation to another situation that seems a little bit more promising, but not really. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want. I mean, there's not really much I have to say about Sansa in this season. But like, do you guys have any thoughts or comments on like everything that happens in the Vale? Lysa's crazy as shit. But do you guys have any comments about like Sansa's kind of like arc so far?
Not much. I would say I would have thought that she'd be better protected because it is her aunt that is in charge or was in charge of the Vale. So I didn't really see the need for her to be um, so secretive. But then again, knowing that word can get out that she's over here, and I understand that part. Um, but yeah, it looked promising in the beginning, then it just got weird real fast.
Super fast. And what's
Very
also
fast.
weird to me too is like the fact that they're gonna give Sansa to the son. Like I'm like, that's your cousin. Like, what's all this
Yeah.
incest? Like, that's your
It's
cousin.
so weird.
Right.
Ugh.
Like,
It's
yeah, you're gonna marry Robin. And I'm like, what do you mean she's gonna marry Robin? First of all, I mean, I
Wow.
understand like age, but like that man's like even too Tommen, and Lady and Marjorie. I was like,
Marjorie,
yeah,
this boy, the boy is. I understand he's king now, but he's like 12 years old.
yeah. He's like 12. Like,
So, and even then, like, because I was looking up that because I was like, this is crazy. I was looking at that. So in the book, Marjorie is like 17, 16, 17, or maybe in the 20s, I forget. And then Tommen's even younger. So they aged him up to seem like he's like 12, 13, or whatever. But in the book, he's like 9 years old, which is
wow, wow, that's crazy.
this show is crazy. Anybody comment on Sansa and things that happen in the Vale? They kill
not
Liza too. The way they kill Liza too is crazy.
yeah, that's
Dude,
what I
Yeah,
was gonna say. Not on Sansa specifically, but just like the way like Littlefinger shows up and somebody dies, like, or somebody is like getting crossed over some which way. Like, I don't know. I feel like this season really made him feel icky to me. And it's so funny how she just died right after she catches him like making moves on Sansa too.
yeah, and they all the people in the Vale are like, "What's going on here?" And I hate the fact that she didn't snitch on him though. But I think
Yeah.
she's just I think she's like it's like she knows this evil. Like it's like, do you choose the evil you don't know? Or choose the evil you know, and like she knows what Littlefinger wants, and she knows she can play him. I guess to an extent. So like
yeah,
she's like, I might as well just deal with the evil that I know versus like trying to figure out if I did get rid of him, what else would happen to
yeah.
Hmm.
Man, I not a whole lot to say about her. Um, but I think she's starting to play the game. She's starting to learn the game. You know what I mean? And losing this kind of naivety about her. Um,
Definitely losing that. Definitely
yeah,
getting smarter.
yeah. She's getting smarter and like she's playing a game. And I guess that was in episode 10, I think, where you know she comes out in this black dress, like she's accepting whatever this role is about to be. You know what I mean? With Littlefinger, you know what I mean? And but I think her journey is about to get real, and I think she's about to bring it, and I'm excited to see it. But right now, I just think she's been through a whole heck of a lot. You know what I mean? Like the girl has been through some shit, right? And she's growing up, and like she's I I just hope though I hope that she don't actually like start to fall in line with Littlefinger become just as slimy and grimy as he is.
Yeah.
But I'm not hating her as much as I'm starting to have empathy for her because in freaking season 1, I hated the bitch. You know what I mean? I hated her. But I'm starting to feel some empathy for her. She's been through a
Gotcha.
lot.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, Sansa's journey is interesting. So we're about 55 minutes in. Last thing I want to touch on is in my opinion, the best part of this season is the battle at the wall, and this is literally where I'm like, okay, Jon Snow actually is a guy. Like he's actually a real one
Bro,
because like this entire time, season 1 through 3, Jon Snow has been the dumbest character in the world. But season 4, Jon Snow is a real one, leading the charge and dealing with what was the captain that was on the wall that was like, "There's no such thing as giants and people, and that's all myths." And he's all scared, and then Jon Snow's like, "Yeah, just go take care of. They need you down there." And he's like, "We gotta do this. Take care of the giants. There's blah 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 blah." Like, I love this battle at the wall and him dealing with like the different people because it was, I don't know, it just showed his prominence. It showed that Jon Snow is actually a real one. And this is like, for me, this is a season where I actually became a fan of Jon Snow. So I'm like, bro, he is real. I know Brendan White's been waiting for something like this, but
bro.
anybody want to comment on the battle at the wall, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a fantastic fight. The whole Jon Snow leading the charge, and
The
he was
build up
smart.
was good too. The build up
Oh,
of like the thins and everything, like coming
yeah,
up because you have both sides you have to take care of. Like the thins on one side, which the thins eating humans. I was like, this is creepy as shit. But sorry, let me cut you off, E-Man. But that's
but the way they took care of the guy that you're talking about, the Lord Commander, and then Janos Slint, which I never liked him anyway. But whenever they said, "Hey, they need you down bottom," then he just ran away. I
yeah,
was like,
Slint.
no, that was the second in command. I forgot
Yeah,
the title.
who hid in the closet with
Yeah,
the girl.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. And
he
I
took.
don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
But my favorite part was when he had like two loyal. Jon Snow had two loyal friends or two loyal guys with him, and he sent one of them. He's like, "I need you to hold the giant," and I was like, "Man, to go down and have to fight against a giant, how scary is that?"
bro.
And he held it, took down the giant, and I was like, "Ooh,
To his
that was
death, fought to
to
his death.
Mm.
Yep. So man, look, that battle was fire. Man, it was a great scene, great battle. It was epic. I've been telling y'all, Jon Snow has a purpose, right? Like I knew he was a spy. We talked about this in the last recording. He's like, what is he doing? I'm like, he's a spy. He's not really trying to. He ain't down for the wildlings. Of course, y'all knew this, of course, but I'm just saying, like, bro, I knew he had an arc, man. Like he is coming into his own. He has a purpose. Like he ran that fucking shit, and he was like, look, you ain't seen giants, man. Like that damn tunnel ain't gonna protect him. Like, you better listen to me. And then he just started like, look, I'm just gonna start training these motherfuckers. You can say what you want. Like, we gotta get prepared because I know what's coming. You don't. And he ran the fucking ship, man. And then when that second in command guy got injured or whatever, and they hauled his ass away, look, Jon Snow held it down.
He did.
Held it down.
He did. I agree.
He's the real one, like you said. But I've been knowing that. I've been knowing he's a real one, bro.
Terry, any comments? You're quiet. Any comments?
Yeah, I mean it was super cool. I really like the giants. I don't know why. I was like, these are like some different creatures that are like they're like look like they're supposed to be there. They're not like CGI or weirdos, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool. This is definitely the turning point for Jon Snow for me. I feel like a big thing that's helped him going forward, that's gonna help him is Ingrid dying. Sorry, I know that's y'all's favorite character, but I feel like now he's that attachment's gone, and now he can thrive because he's not so tied down anymore.
That was one of the saddest parts because Jon Snow is out there kicking ass. Like when he comes down that
Yeah.
elevator shaft and starts kicking ass. I was like, look at this dude. Like this is when I watched it the first time. I was like, this is the person that I thought I'd see out the gate. I did not. We just saw this. I don't. Anyways, but that was pretty cool. And then when they released the wolf and the wolf's like you said the perspective of like the wolf running through and like that battle was pretty cool. But when I saw Ygritte, I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then the little boy killed, which was kind of hilarious. Like it kind of plays for like they killed his dad, and then he ends up killing her in that season, which is crazy. But it, like that death, man. I was touched because like that's one of the first love stories like that plays out in the show, and so just like and then her saying, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." I was like, here. That was a great scene. Like everything just like was just so fantastic. Like him fighting the king of the Finns was fantastic too. Like it was chef's kiss. I just feel like that the battle at the wall was fantastic.
Yeah.
Any comments before I move on to my next point within this?
Well, I just want to talk about Ingrid. So did y'all, since y'all saw this already, when the first time you watched it, did you think that that boy killed Ingrid just to defend Jon Snow, or was there more to it?
Just to defend Jon Snow. I don't think he remembered. I don't think he remembered her.
I think so. I think so because I went back and looked at it, bro, and like they kept showing from his perspective. She was the only character, the only wildling that he really noticed and was focused on. I think he killed her. Just
maybe maybe he did. I just don't think it. Like I just remember him giving like a nod to Jon Snow. Like yeah, I did that.
There's that part of it too. But then I think he wanted to take her out, and he saw the opportunity.
Oh, I felt like it was just like I'm doing something, I'm helping. Like I killed someone.
Because he was helping. He was getting people up and down the thing. He was cranking it.
Cranking that soldier boy.
Yeah, getting people up and down the thing.
Child
labor. So here's my next point is so as awesome as that battle was, I hated the finish of the army of the North because how it like I feel like it was the most lackluster ending. You have this ginormous army. This is the North. You have 100 people in this wall that have to defend them. They're gonna have to defend them night after night after night. They know they basically know they've lost. They won one battle, but the war they know they're gonna lose because there's no way they can defeat everybody. Jon Snow goes north to talk to the King of the North. I forget his name. And then Stannis shows up and then murders everybody and captures them. Like literally, I was watching the show. Like I remember literally, I was watching the season. And I'm like, how do they escape this? Because I'm like, there's no way they survive. They do survive. I remember watching. Like I know they survive. But I'm like, if there's that many people, how do they survive this barrage every single night? And then I was watching. And I was like, what happens? And then Stannis shows out, and I'm like, that's so lackluster of a finish. Like, so I don't know what else I wanted to happen, but I just didn't like that. Did you guys have any thoughts on like how it ended, like the war against the North and the Wall or whatever?
I
That's
just
the
feel
same way. I didn't like the way it ended, especially with Stannis. Is like you're still not king, but you're acting like a king. So he just comes and takes over the situation, not knowing what the situation is. And I don't know at all. And I don't know. I like you. I didn't like the way it ended.
It's like, where does Stannis even come from? How did he get that far north? They didn't tell that story at all. He just shows up. I'm like, I literally was like, whose army is this? Because I did not remember. But Tiara, you were saying something? You were about to say something?
Oh, I was gonna say that I just don't like Stannis. I feel like he's so unnecessary. It's like, oh, we're gonna start all these problems, but then like, oh, we gotta retreat and do more planning. That's not gonna work again. And it's just like, I don't know, you're just like inserting yourself, and it's clear that you're not fit to rule anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was definitely like, whose fucking army is this? Like, where do these people come from? Then it just didn't make sense. Like, why Stannis was showing up? I was like, why? Like, for what? Like, yeah, it didn't make sense to me. So I wasn't feeling it. It was
Well,
lackluster.
the reason why is he still wants to be king, but he realized taking over King's Landing is not the best way. He's like, let me take over the north first, and let's march down to King's Landing. Like that's his thought process. But to go all the way to the wall first, it's kind of crazy. But I
no,
think he was trying to find somebody at the wall. Like he was trying, like a general or somebody or something like that.
well, if you remember, the Maester from the Wall sent out messages to all the kingdoms,
Mm-hmm.
and the red woman read the note and it said of the incoming threat of the White Walkers. So
Oh
he
yeah,
turned around and told Stannis like, you're going to be king still, but you need to go to the north first. So that's why he went north.
yeah.
But that's all I remember. But I think his army was the Golden Army because he did go to was it
Yeah.
Bravo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had hired people. But that was it was just so random. Like that was very interesting. My Wi-Fi apparently
Yeah,
is
they
not good right now.
they didn't they didn't do a good job of building that. I mean, because like the last thing we really saw about that, I mean, we know they got denied by the Iron Bank or whatever. Um, but with that help, so like where they get this freaking army from?
Well, that's what he got from Bravos. Like that was they ended up working something out. I don't know the exact like details, but he also still had a good army. Like he still had people backing him. It's also like they never tell like okay like you just have these people come out of the woodworks. It's like oh they have this army out of nowhere. Like where's Tywin's army just chilling at? Like where are they at? You know like anyways.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that kind of wraps up majority of stuff that happens in season 4 of Game of Thrones. There were a couple other things that I'll touch on, and you guys feel free to comment on anything. But we do see Daenerys and her situation. But I feel like Daenerys this entire season, like they kind of just like nerfed her. Like they were just like, yeah, I know your character is focused on taking over the throne, but we're just gonna keep you on this throne over here. Like they had her chain her dragons up. I just feel like Daenerys this season was like man. You guys touch on that. I know you love Daenerys, Brendan White. Theon as well. Theon turns. He's not even Theon anymore. He's Reek. You see everything going north with the Bolton boy and him coming to power and using Reek to do certain things. I still feel bad for Reek. I still feel bad for Theon. He tried to get saved by his sister, or his sister tried to save him. He was like, "No, no, good Reek." Uh, and then Bran and this whole 3-eyed Raven thing. I don't like Bran. I don't understand why they push Bran on us so much. I do. I've seen the show entirely through, so I understand. But I don't understand. Like, what does Bran do for the show? Nothing. So those are the last like 3 things that happened. Oh, and then Arya, her and the Hound's journey, and the Hound dies, or he didn't die. He loses in the fight to Bran of Tarth, and just like laying there, and then Arya just leaves him. But those are the last few things that happened in season 4. I didn't really feel like those were significant. But anybody have any comments on any of the things I just talked about? Daenerys, Bran, uh, Arya, or Reek?
Yeah, Daenerys. I mean, I'm still a fan. I still think she's gonna take over and rule the whole, kingdom. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like they just kind of washing over this season. I mean, they didn't focus on her a lot this season, but I think they did do some justice. You know what I mean? With her, because we see like she's really devout on building, a large army, and like freeing slaves and turning them into, her soldiers, right? And giving them choice to fight for. So yeah, I mean, I'm still a fan. I think she's gonna take over. Now, I didn't see the betrayal of I can't what's the guy who's always been a right hand man?
Jorah.
Huh?
Jorah.
Yeah, Sir Sir Jorah,
Sir
Mormont.
Jorah, yeah.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, the one who's been with her from the beginning. Like I didn't see that coming, and I'm still not quite clear. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it to get all the little
So
subtleties. But like how, like was he? How did he become a spy? Vaguely remember something about Tyrion. I mean, Tywin trying to, get somebody to be a spy.
Paul, so do you want to know like what they're talking about there?
What I'm talking about there?
No. Do you want us to fill you in on that?
Yeah, as long as you're not spoiling anything in
No.
season 5.
It's already been revealed. So if you remember season 1, like he is spying, like he is hired by Robert Baratheon
Oh
to
yeah,
spy on Daenerys. Like he's the one spying on Daenerys for Robert Baratheon. That's how Robert Baratheon is knowing like she's pregnant, all these different things. Like he's sending intel to Robert Baratheon. And then you see, I don't know what season it was, but you see like his little kid give him this like thing saying you have a pardon, right? Like you've been pardoned by Robert Baratheon
yeah,
for his work. So
yeah,
he's been a spy the entire time, but he shifts from being a spy because there was a scene in season 1 where Daenerys is walking through the marketplace, and then you have the guy with like the wine. He's trying to
yeah,
get her to drink it,
yeah,
but he stops her from drinking it. The reason why he knew it was poison is because he knew that they were going to try and kill them because he's been sending everything to them. So that's
yeah.
when he stopped spying
Mm-hmm.
and just was like, this is my queen or whatever. But you
Yeah,
can see like there's even in season 2 that lady with like the it was like a random character that they never brought back ever. It's like
yeah,
a loop. It's like a missing piece in Game of Thrones. But she has like that face mask on or whatever, and she's
yeah.
like Jorah Mormont, protect Daenerys, don't spy on her anymore, or whatever she said to him. I forget exactly. But
Okay.
he's been a spy, and then Sir Barristan is the one that like is like you were a spy,
Mm-hmm.
and basically tells Daenerys and he's like you can't
Yep.
be around anymore. So he was a spy before a long time ago.
Yeah. But then now she doesn't trust him, and so she let him go.
Yep.
But
Hold
can
on,
I before you
Real
before
quick. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I just want to say what they freaking out of nowhere changed the actor for the guy who killed his homies. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Out of nowhere.
Dario
Like,
Naharis.
and look, they didn't even get the same type. That dude was blonde and kind of ripped. This dude is a freaking, brown headed, slim, not average built dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
who the hell did this casting?
Yeah.
Like, I was mad because at first I didn't know. I was like, who is this guy? What happened to it? Then I was like, wait, this is the same character. I was like, what the fuck, man? But my bad. Go ahead, Tiara. I didn't want to voice that.
Dario Naharis. They switched characters. That's very infamous, which is great. It's the most random thing.
So random.
Yeah, I just gonna say my iPad's at 1%, so I might dip off at any time.
We're wrapping up anyway. So this
Okay.
is yeah. But if you do, thanks for telling us. So any other comments from anybody about Daenerys, Bran? I guess Sierra, you want to give anything off about those characters before your iPad dies?
Yeah, don't really care about Bran. Also, I'm very excited about Arya. I'll just leave it at that because she's about to get so cool. Getting aligned with the assassins and all that. So I mean that's pretty much it. I'm just excited for the rest of the seasons. It's been slow up until now, but like now everything's about to start happening.
Yep. Email?
Sure.
No, other than what Tiara said, I'm excited about Arya. See where she's going because she's already good with the sword, so like she's gonna go look for the faceless man and see where her story goes.
That was my favorite character in season 3. A guy needs a name. But last question. So nobody feels bad for Reek, not at all.
No.
Man, I don't feel bad for him. No, I don't feel bad for him. But I'm wondering, and I kind of feel like it's still like Theon is gonna come out. I don't know when, but like I feel like he's still kind of just playing it. I think he's playing the game. I think he's playing the game.
If Theon wasn't come out, he would have left with his sister. That's all I'll say. But so that is our review for season 4 of Game of Thrones. Appreciate you guys for watching, tuning in. Appreciate everybody for sharing their thoughts. But thanks for tuning in. We're out.
See you guys.
Later.